Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? Hope you guys can hear me okay. I decided that I wanted to take a few minutes and answer your questions. This is what I call Dr. Boyce Exposed, where I answer every question that you guys put up. If you give me a short question, I will give you a short answer. And so I'm going to give you guys time to come in. Just as a reminder, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. So we're on Spotify. And also, you can check out drboycetv.com if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My website is boycewatkins.com. There's a lot of free stuff on the channel. So Murray says, I'm looking forward to this. Good. I'm looking forward to it too. Shout out to City. Let me know what city you're from. Hey, or Oriel, good to see you. Let's see. By the way, my Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. So I got people from Instagram chiming in. I got the whole family in here. So if you hear some background noise, it's my mother-in-law talking in the background, and I'm wearing headphones so that I can focus so hard. Let's see. First question is, why do you hate Deion Sanders so much? I don't hate Deion. I love Deion. I've been a Cowboys fan my whole life. Next question, please. What's the next question? Texas. Oh, you out of Texas. Very nice. We had an event in Dallas, and Dallas went really well, and a lot of you showed out. What do you think about Ethereum? I think Ethereum is a great investment. I'm buying lots of Ethereum and lots of Bitcoin. I think it's going to be a great way to make money. Hey, Dr. Boyce, how much money do you think you need to change your family tree? I think you need $1 million worth of energy, $1 million worth of love, $1 million worth of education. Don't just think of it as just money. Wealth is far more than just the amount of money in your bank account. So I know a lot of people that have a lot of money that aren't going to change anything. It's really about changing culture, changing habits, and not being afraid to do that. Was the Titanic a distraction? Yes, it was. I think it was. Are you dating Karen Hunter? No, I'm dating my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. I don't even know Karen Hunter. Is 12K enough to get a multi-unit? Do you think one should save more? I think it could be if you get a really, really low down payment. But remember, I did buy some property, and we have rental property, but I find it's easier to just buy a bunch of stock and sell the options on the stock. That generates a higher ROI, and it's also safer. And so I'm not telling you what to do. I'll just say that's what I do. Come to take the dopest tour ever when you get back in the Shy. The dopest tour. What's the dopest tour? I live near Chicago. Do you feel the so-called black publications are pushing fear and propaganda? Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of manipulation that occurs. Shout out to Ice Cube. Ice Cube's kind of challenging some of the gatekeepers that are giving him a hard time about his sports league. I sent him a text today and let him know I support him. What do you think about Oprah Winfrey? She's a 50-50. I don't think Oprah's all bad, but it ain't all good either. Let's see. Listen to you in Japan. Nice. Should I aim to be debt free before I start investing? No, I don't think you should. I don't think you have to be debt free in order to be an investor. Lots of investors invest with debt. A lot of corporations get started with debt. Titanic was a smokescreen for the Bidens. Could have been. There are theories out there on that. I definitely don't think it should have gotten more attention than that ship with all those migrants on it. That kind of speaks to our priorities. Any coming events in Florida? No, we don't have any events in Florida. We do have the All Black National Convention that's going to be happening. It's going to happen. October 20th. I should know this. October 20th in Atlanta. So if you go to allblacknationalconvention.com, you can find information, or you can hit the link in the bio if you're on Instagram. Also on Instagram, if you hit the link in the bio, or you go to boycewatkins.com, there's a training called How to Make Money Without Working. So feel free to take a look at that. I think this is maybe a repeat. Well, just to show you that it's not a repeat. There we go. I'm going to put your comment on the screen. Easy. So no, it's not a repeat. It's live. SC, is paper money to be considered obsolete in the future? It could be. Where can you get an affordable trust? You don't need a lawyer to make a trust. I just talked to a trust and estate planning expert who was explaining that you don't need a lawyer. So you can actually get somebody that's not a lawyer, but just make sure they know what they're doing and have experience. Let's see. Greetings. Hey, I'm Queen Malika. Malika. Good to see you, sister. Business evaluation company. Sorry, I don't know. Oh, can you suggest a reputable business valuation company? Wish I could. Nothing comes to mind. I'm very sorry. I can't think of anything right offhand. Let's see here. Somebody says up and running. Don't let people get under your skin. Dr. Boyce is unnecessary. I agree. It doesn't get under my skin. It's really more so about I've always been a person who I don't like bullies, and I like to defend the people I care about. So sometimes if I speak up on something, it's not because I feel like it's affecting me. I don't care about me in that way. I speak up on it because I care about the community. So when we have those conversations about guys who just, think the kids of single mothers don't deserve love from a father, um, men like that, I challenge them because I say, that's kind of mean to say that to children. You shouldn't say that to kids. Kids deserve love, and so I think that we got to be real careful with these movements because for men, our words have power, and when you're using that power in a way that's not helpful, then I do feel the need to use my platform to speak up on that, just like I speak up against the white man when he comes with his BS. Let's see here. What do you think about Fed now? I don't think it's anything significant if you don't want it to be. It's there, it's important, but it's not something you have to participate in. So I don't necessarily think it's something that has to be a big priority for you. Let's see here. What else? Look at another question. What should a person do with inherited 150K mutual funds that track the S&P 500? That'd be a good place to start. Let's see. How do I read the cryptocurrency? I focus on the big cryptos. I focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. I'm not really into the crappy cryptos. I don't think the crappy cryptos are going to be good investments long term. I think that those are going to be great places to lose a lot of money as they have been. But Bitcoin, I'd be stunned. I'd be absolutely stunned if Bitcoin doesn't blow up in the next like 5 years. I'd be stunned by that. Let's see here. Moving on, single moms need to find a job. Yeah, most of them do have a job. And I just think it's like mind. Let's just all mind our own business and just, let's say we want to love each other, right? I think that you can pick what your dating strategy is without somehow disparaging another group and saying nobody should. Like if you're a single mother, nobody ever wants you. Well, what do you know? Like, shut up. That's not appropriate. Just like saying nobody would want you because you went to jail or whatever. Like, no, that's an individual choice. So some of the conversations get kind of ignorant, and a lot of people don't. They want to hold everybody else accountable, but don't want to hold themselves accountable. So that's something that I think should be spoken out on. To be honest with you, do you think a commodity super cycle is coming? Gas, precious metals are in a new bull market. Um, yeah, I think commodities are a good investment. Certain commodities. I was thinking a lot about copper, stuff like that. I think that there's sort of a 5 year bull run in copper. How can we push for the hate crime bill for African Americans? I don't. I think we got enough legislation like that. I want reparations, to be honest with you. Let's see. Next question. Hold on. Give me a second here. I'm trying to pull this down so I can see see your comments. Okay. What is the best place to buy cryptocurrency? I buy mine on Coinbase and Bittrex, but there's other places too. If a white corporation offered you 15 million for all your businesses, would I do it? No, I would not. I know how to make $15 million. That's not even 100 million though. I Once you get enough money, you don't have to sell anything. Like this idea that you have to sell out to the highest bidder, that's nonsense. Like, once you make enough money, you got enough money. My thoughts on WEF. I don't know what WEF is. I'm sorry. I don't know that. Is that a ticker symbol for a stock? Either way, though, come to stock market investing class. We're actually going to have class this week, so feel free to join us. You can ask me about stocks and stuff like that. Can you do a one-on-one? Sometimes I do, not very often, but if you email manager at boycewatkins.com, she can let you know the cost of a one-on-one if that's something that is of interest to you. Let's see, they make chicken with chicken cell. That's not good. Oh, you talking about the 3D printed chicken? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. In 3D printed fish, that's kind of berserk. Let's see, Bitcoin is done. We're going digital. I don't know. Where should I get life insurance? I go to theblackInsuranceNetwork.com, theblackInsuranceNetwork.com. Let's see. Do you recommend STA? I don't know STA. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. Do you recommend establishing a partnership agreement for family members managing family-owned property? Yeah, some kind of agreement, something legal is good. Even an LLC. Remember, our people were experimented on and it never stopped. That is true. What do you think about preferred DT? I'm sorry, I don't know what preferred DT is. Sorry, brother, man. How would you handle the type of embarrassing moment that you'll get hecked by your peers in your younger days? How would you handle the type of embarrassing moment that'll get you heckled by your peers in your younger days? Um, if you love yourself, then you don't care what people think about you that much. It's about loving yourself, and loving self love breeds self confidence. It's hard to have self-confidence if you don't have self-love. Because if you don't love yourself, then you become embarrassed by yourself. You're afraid of being exposed or whatever. So I practice hard on loving myself. And also, I train myself really well as it pertains to like finance and all that. So I'm not intimidated by ideas or somebody disagreeing with me. I just say, well, that's what you think. That's what I think. And that's fine. Like, I don't feel like I could debate anybody on the planet and I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So learn how to love yourself, and then you'll be proud of yourself even when you make a mistake. Are you and Dame Dash still cool? I like Dame, but we don't work together. Should I buy more AI? AI is a good stock. It's dropped a lot, but it could keep dropping because a lot of AI, I don't know if all the money that was made from C3.ai is going to continue or not. I feel like that might have been a once a year opportunity with those AI stocks. What do you think about preferred stocks? Nothing special about them, honestly. I don't seek them out. Reparations. Then what comes next? Game theory on how it plays out, sir. Well, I guess we get our reparations and then we keep educating ourselves in economics. And some of us will preserve our money. Some of us will give it right back to the white man. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, Doc, that's 100% truth about self-love. Absolutely. If I went too far in my example, my sincere apologies. Sorry. Let's see. Black excellence. Let's see. Here's an example scenario. Somebody stumbles upon you and your significant other at the wrong time in some secluded area. I don't know. I don't know. I got to think about that. Is that I guess you just keep it moving. You know, you're gonna get embarrassed. Things are gonna go wrong. Things are gonna mess up. AI is dangerous. Yes, AI is considered to be dangerous by a lot of experts. So be mindful of AI. Let me see here. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to see your questions. 3 skills we need to learn for the future to succeed. Um, Reading so you can consume information. Read a lot. Writing so you can communicate your ideas. Math so you can do business and make money. Black history. I think critical thinking skills very important, and knowing how to start a business, knowing how to invest in real estate, knowing how to buy stock. I think those are skills that will make a person successful. Boyce, you see, after you did a podcast on Deion Sanders, Pat Colorado, the white guy on ESPN, did a topic on it. Yeah, I saw the ESPN guy. His name is Max Kellerman. And I've always liked Max. You know, when he was on his show with Stephen A., I actually liked him better than Stephen A. because Max understood racism better than Stephen A. did, it seemed. And Max understood what I was saying. I was not saying Deion is a dummy or I don't like Deion. That's a simple-minded argument. I told you I'm a Cowboys fan. I love when Deion played for the Cowboys. He was my favorite player. But in terms of being underpaid, people didn't understand it. They think that Deion got hired to coach football. They think that he got hired just because he's a great coach. Deion is more than just a great coach. Deion is a brand. You know, there's other coaches that don't have the name Deion has who are at other schools making the same amount of money. They're not bringing to their school what Deion's bringing to that school. Deion's bringing probably $50 to $100 million a year in extra revenue for that school. And the way you evaluate a business, that's what Deion is. He's a business. He's a brand. He's a corporate acquisition. The way you value a corporate acquisition is you look at the cost of the asset and you compare that to the future cash flow generated from that asset. So imagine this, just to make it real simple. And I'm glad Max Kellerman was smart enough to get it because, to be honest with you, the brothers on the show, Jay Williams and the wide receiver, I forgot his name. They I don't know if they got it. They think that it's about winning football games. No, if it was about winning football games, then the Dallas Cowboys would be, right in the middle of the pack in terms of market valuation. The Dallas Cowboys don't win games, but they have the most valuable team in the league because it ain't about winning games. It ain't about just your skill. It's about the brand. It's about getting butts in the seats, getting people to buy the merch, getting TV rights deals. What revenue can you generate? Think about it. The Kim Kardashian family, they're worth billions. Are they worth billions because they have talent? Are they worth billions because they can sing, because they can dance, they can act? Or do they get billions because they work harder than everybody else? No, they get billions because they are a brand. That's what you got to understand about money. Can you do a one-on-one? Email manager at boycewatkins.com. And if I have any slots for one-on-ones, we could definitely look into that. Let's see here. There's an imposter pretending to be you on social media. Yes, there's lots of them. So please be careful. I'm not going to be in your inbox trying to sell you crypto. So please don't think that that's me. Do you think Black businesses or corporations will benefit from competing in international trade and commerce, assuming money is given back to the Black community? Yes, we would. Absolutely. Any call or put strategies? Yeah, I'm going to sell calls this week on I think I'm going to jump back into Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic. If you want to learn more about selling calls to generate income, it's a great way to make money if you want to get income. Just go to boycewatkins.com and there's a training called How to Make Money Without Working right there on my website. So feel free to go to my website, take a look, and you can join the program at a substantial discount, but you can watch that training for free. It really will change your perspective, I promise you. How can I get your book? You can go to my website, boycewatkins.com, or you can go to Amazon. My book is on Amazon. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. I have another series called Black American Money, and I have another book I wrote 15 years ago called Financial Lovemaking. Where should I get life insurance? TheBlackInsuranceNetwork.com, the World Economic Forum. Oh, what do I think about the World Economic Forum? I think it's there to protect the rich in the interests of wealthy countries. Excuse me. Foreign real estate versus rural areas in America. Um, Foreign real estate, you got to make sure you know the laws. Wherever you buy in other countries, make sure you know the law. What was the name of the young lady that sang at your wedding? El Shaddai sang, and also Victory Boyd. Victory Boyd is an artist with Rock Nation. She's going to perform with her family at the All Black National Convention. If you'd like to learn about the convention, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. Also, another Rock Nation artist that I want to try to bring in is Akila Nihonda, and Akila is 100% B1, and so you should definitely go check her out. What do you think of IULs as a vehicle for financial freedom? I think index universal life policies are okay. They're better than nothing. They're better than nothing, but I don't do them, and I'll tell you why. I don't use IULs because I've got so many other different ways to make money. But if I was a person who was doing nothing, an IUL is definitely better than nothing. 100%. It'll give you that life insurance, and it gives you that slow building cash value, all these other things. You have to have something that you are consistently putting money in. You got to understand all wealth is. Here's what wealth is. Ready? Wealth is just an accumulation. It's just a bunch of shit. It's a pile. It's where you piled up stuff. And in order to accumulate anything, you have to do something consistently. So let me give you an example. Like if I were to ask you, let's say I was to give you $1 for every time you ate lunch in your whole entire life, that would be thousands of dollars. Let's say I gave you $1 for every meal you've ever eaten, you would have a lot of money, right? Why? Well, because you were accumulating wealth by eating every single day. You didn't think about it, you just did it. It was part of your habits, part of your culture, right? So effectively, it was those consistent actions over a long period of time, repeated consistently, that led you to have this massive, so-called wealth. Or if I gave you a nickel for every time you use the bathroom, or if I gave you $1 for every conversation you had with a relative, right? So these things that you do on a regular basis, that determines your wealth. And the reason people don't have wealth is because they don't have anything in their financial life that they do on a regular basis except spend money, except pay the landlord consistently every single month, except pay that car note every single month. But that's not wealth that's being built for you. That's wealth that's being built for him. Do you follow what I'm saying? So what I want you to do is I want you to not just do things consistently that are going to benefit other people. I don't want you to just pay your rent on time every month. I think that's great. I don't want you to just pay your car note every time. I think that's great. I also want you to pay a car note for yourself. Invest in your future. Invest for your kids. Do those as consistently as you do your car note, as you do your rent, as you do everything else that you do. You have to invest as consistently as you go to the bathroom, or as you call your mama on Tuesdays, or whatever it is that you do that's consistent. I want you to invest at that same rate. And here's what's going to happen over 20 years. The same way you're going to have thousands of times that you'll eat lunch or go to the bathroom, you're going to have thousands of dollars in your bank account because you're consistently popping money into that investment account. And that money's sitting over there growing when you're not even thinking about it. Let me keep going. All right, so let's see here. Are you concerned about agents being at your events? No, I'm not concerned about it, but I know that they're out there. I saw a video by a former FBI agent that really reiterated to me the depth by which they study Black culture, and also the sinister nature by which they manipulate Black culture. So what that did was that made me look differently at a lot of things I see in the community that I don't understand. Like you might see somebody on the internet just throwing shade, acting crazy, and I never thought about it until I talked to Tony Browder, that person could be an agent. because one thing agents do is they just discredit. They just try to create confusion. So not to say everybody who disagrees is an agent, but I'm saying agents are out there, because they've gone after people with having lesser of an impact. I think one thing I like about the work that we do is that we don't just talk about racism. We talk about problems. We solve problems. We actually change people's lives. And that is. We don't just change lives temporarily, we change lives long term. A lot of you are going to have wealthier grandchildren because of some things that we've talked about here. That's pretty dangerous. That's going to make some people upset. So I'm fully prepared for that. I fully know that there's, agent stuff out there. You try to be careful. I don't, you ain't see me run around with a bunch of women and getting into dumb situations, because they take advantage of your vices. That's what the agent said that he would do to black men. He said black men are trained to just run around and chase any woman, any pretty girl that walks by. Well, they would get women and plant those women into their lives, like plant that big booty right in front of you, and you like a little puppy, and you fall for the trap. Next thing you know, you done gave away all your secrets, and your organization crumbles because you laid down with some lady who is a Trojan horse. So let's see, how much did the Tulsa Real Estate Fund make in 2022? I have no idea. You have to ask Jay about that. I invested in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. I'm happy I did because I like the Black House a lot. Speaking of the Black House in Atlanta, if you haven't been there, you should go there. We're going to host the world premiere of our new film called B1 the Movie. It's going to be in the Black House. I believe August 17th, Marcus Garvey's birthday is when we're going to do it. So feel free to join us there. What do you think about 401k dollar for dollar companies match? I think it's a great way to invest. That's how my wife built a lot of her wealth. My wife does not enjoy financial talk much at all. She's not into money and finances like I am, but she didn't want to be broke. So she maxed out her 401k, and that's how she was able to build the wealth that she had when we got married. She didn't marry me to get my money because she had her own money. She was just fine without me. Let's see here. You're going to learn the best times to invest over time. That's true. You are doing great, and I'm always bragging about you. Thank you, Black Pac. I appreciate you. I'm bragging about you too, and I love you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Let's see. Okay. Where is Boyce live at? Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter? I tend to go live everywhere, right? See, that's my little secret. Boyce, you see after you did a pod. Oh, okay. I saw that. Let me keep scrolling. Can somebody help me? I didn't see. I don't know what you need help with. I apologize. Clean coochie beats. All right. Uh, where should you start if you've never invested before? Go to boycewatkins.com. There's something called a $5 a day investing plan. It's so simple that a 4-year-old could do it. And that's all you really need to know. Like, you could do that literally and go the rest of your life and be perfectly fine. Is Nvidia still a good buy at current levels? It depends. There's mixed reviews on it. Most reviews say yes. Most reviews say Nvidia is going to keep going up. Let's see here. Would you consider offering paid virtual attendance of the ABC? Offering paid virtual attendance? Oh, yeah. We are going to have a virtual ticket. So yes, you will be able to attend virtually. Do you teach technical analysis? Not much, because when I was getting my PhD, they kind of told us technical analysis wasn't reliable. Let's say that. But I don't agree entirely. I think that there are some areas where it could be. I just think that there is a lot of misinformation, though, when it comes to technical analysis. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you guys can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me all right. Let's see here. I'm asking because I want him to read my comment concerning collaboration on a project. Well, I'm sorry, Clean Coochie Beats. I said I've read 2 of your comments now. So if you have a comment that I missed, you got to keep putting the comment in or something, so I'll see it, because I don't see it. How about Florida Gators baseball? I did not see that. Did they win the national championship? That's cool. How do you deal with envious and jealous people? Well, that's a sign of success. When people copy you, envy you, or or hate on you, usually it's because you're doing better than them. Steve Harvey's right. He said you'll never have a hater that's doing better than you. People that are doing better than you, they're too busy succeeding. They're not hating. The only way they might hate on you is if they're threatened by you, if they see you rising and they don't want to lose what they have. But for the most part, your haters are going to be people that want what you have, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What's your take on traditional over the knee, pants down, bare bottom spanking as a form of discipline for our community? My opinion is probably unpopular. I grew up getting spanked. It didn't kill me or traumatize me, but I know now we think that everything's abuse, and I admit I'm a little old school on that. I mean, some of these kids, when they go out in the street and they get shot by a cop or end up in jail, maybe they needed to get their ass whooped or something. But an ass whooping alone is not enough. I'll just say that. If you can't have unintelligent parenting. So I'm not going to say that whether or not people should spank kids or not. I don't want to get into that debate. But I will say that whatever you do, you got to talk to your kids, because you have to convince them that whatever you want for them is best for them. Like, you can't just tell them to do it and make them do it. They have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Do you know if Shaquille O'Neal passed away? Oh God, I hope not. Oh Lord Jesus, that would be sad. Let me Google that one. Let me see. Shaquille O'Neal. I hope he didn't pass. He's a big guy. He's not. Nah, he's not dead, because that would be all over the place. He talks about losing two perfect women or something, which is kind of interesting. Do you have any family members that do not support Black empowerment? Yeah, I got a lot. they think I'm a weirdo. Some of them do. Some of them respect it, but some of them are just like, yeah, there you go. It's talking that Black power stuff. What are our chances of getting reparations? I think our chances are very high. Our chances of getting quality reparations, that's the question that must be asked, in my opinion. Do you feel it's a mistake to treat crypto as stocks versus treating them as technologies? Um, for some cryptos, they are securities. Some cryptos are not. I would not ever invest more than 10% of my portfolio in crypto, because crypto is still very risky. But I invest in crypto because if crypto can hold on and survive whatever they're trying to do, I think it's going to take off. I think once these lawsuits are done and regulatory clarity is established for Bitcoin, you're going to see kaboom, kaboom, kabam. Like, that stuff is going to go crazy. And I'm buying Bitcoin every week. Every week. Should I give my 16-year-old son counseling if he lost his older sister to street violence? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I think everybody can benefit from therapy. I see my therapist. I love my therapist. I tell everybody I can talk to, because I'm not, I'm secure in who I am as a man. I don't feel embarrassed to tell you I have a therapist. I don't have any shame in telling you that I'm a traumatized Black man. I have no shame in telling you that there are parts of me that have been hurting since childhood. I have no shame in telling you that I want to be a better man. I have no shame in telling you that I'm not a perfect man. And so what I really need y'all to really understand is, like, this BS crap about, like, therapy being for weak people, or we don't do therapy. You got to stop that. If you want to really grow, get you some help. The therapists are beautiful in one way, because there's something about talking to somebody and getting it all out, and then also the ability to get that feedback on various coping mechanisms to help you deal with the stress that you're feeling every day. I have a lot of stress in my life. I have a lot of variables. My parents are both very, very sick. My wife, being married is hard. Having kids is hard. I got kids, outside the house I take care of. That's hard. I have a whole community of people, some who love me and expect things from me. That's hard, but I still love y'all. But then I got a community of people that don't like me, right? Maybe that I would say that's hard. That's probably the easiest part, but still, it's like there's a lot to manage, and that's on top of just staying healthy and keeping my mind straight, staying focused, accomplishing my goals. I'm juggling a lot of balls, right? So you got to have balls to juggle those balls. And so I talk to my therapist so I can stay focused. Let's see here. Somebody says, watch out for Corey Holcomb. Well, Corey Holcomb better watch out for me. The Kings don't get scared of clowns. How about we say that? He's a comedian. That makes him a clown. I can't, I'm sorry. A guy who wishes death on the mother of his child is not my type of guy. He needs some therapy himself. So, and also I didn't counterattack him. I just said, well, maybe I did a little bit. Maybe it came off that way. But my point was to say that, you got to deal with these men that think that you're a simp if you love a Black woman or if you take care of kids. That's crazy to me. That's nonsense. If it wasn't for my father stepping in for me when I was 3, I might be robbing y'all instead of teaching y'all. Seriously, I might be out here up in prison somewhere, man. So, I'm not saying these dudes have to step up. Not every man is equipped to do it. Not every man can handle all that. It's a lot of pressure having a family. Heading a household is hard to do. It's like heading a household is like running a business. Heading a household is like running a business. Everybody ain't meant to run a business. Everybody ain't cut out to do it. Some people just need to go work for somebody else. Some of y'all just need to keep your job. What I'm talking about is You still need your business owners, though. You need somebody to run the business. Somebody's got to create the companies. Somebody's got to do the hard work. Somebody's got to build the establishment. Somebody's got to develop the institutions. So the same thing is true when it comes to helping take care of all these little badass kids out here that don't have the fatherly support. Every man can't do it. Some men are too high on dope to be focused. Some men ain't smart enough. Some men ain't got the courage. Some men are financially broken. Some men are emotionally broken. Some men are just selfish. But somebody got to do it. Somebody's got to get out here and coach these boys at football practice. Somebody's got to run the mentor program. Somebody's got to volunteer for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Somebody's got to be part of 100 Black Men. Some men have got to go in and create order in some of the households where maybe there isn't a father present. I like that. It is fun for me. It is not, I mean, that's the best part of my life. I believe in investing in Black children. And where I end up having to draw that line, and I'm gonna continue to do this, is it's okay for you to do what you want to do, but when you start speaking down on those who are doing the work that you're choosing not to do, I'm gonna step up and say, no, 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 no. I don't believe in being a bully, but I have a big problem with people that bully others. So when you have a man that has love in his heart and takes this little boy that ain't got a daddy and says, I want to be this boy's father, and he sees the benefits of having this child that's going to love him and be loyal to him for the rest of his life, and he makes that choice, don't you dare call him a simp. You're the fucking simp because you're sitting back here smoking your weed, sleeping with these raggedy ass women, not investing in your future on any level, showing no love for anybody other than yourself. You are a parasite, because you show up at the woman's house just so you can get some ass. You're going to eat some food, get some ass, and leave. As soon as the responsibility comes to the door, you're walking out. Where I come from, that's not what a man does. That's not how a man behaves. Masculinity is the ability to provide and protect something. Masculinity is the ability to take accountability for something. Masculinity among every animal, every mammal in the animal kingdom is to say, this is my territory. These are my people. I'm going to look out for mines. And so for all the masculine men out here, I applaud you. I thank you for being who you are. Don't let other people who have smaller minds distract you. You keep doing your damn job. We're the soldiers up in this bitch, and we're going to always run this. This is our community. Take accountability. I'm done. Thank you for letting me get that out. Are you invested in art? I don't own a lot of art. I did buy a statue this week of like a soldier with a shield and a sword and a spear. My wife thinks it's some sort of subconscious reference to like how I view the world, and because the soldier had arrows in his shield, and she said, "So Boyce," she's a therapist, she's like, "So Boyce, what do those arrows represent? Who's throwing arrows at you?" I said, "I don't know. They throwing arrows at me, but I'm gonna fight. I got my spear." Anyway, let me keep going. All right, next question. I believe there is an app for multiple devices. Okay. Let's see. First, hello, and thank you for sharing your knowledge on your platform. I have a successful catering company thinking about opening a restaurant. Do you think opening a restaurant will be profitable? Get a lot of coaching and counseling on that. Hire somebody to help you with that process so that you can minimize the number of expensive mistakes that you make. I think obviously restaurants can be open profitably. Let me look at how many there are out here. But if you do it wrong, it can be very costly. So you might want to think that through. Get with somebody who has some experience. Let's see here. I'm an investor because of you. Good job. Get jiggy with it. Even though I got scammed a year ago. Oh no, on WhatsApp. Oh man, yeah. Watch out for those WhatsApp um, plans or whatever the people do on WhatsApp. Like, be careful with that. But keep going. We all get played at some point. I've been scammed before. All of us have at some point. So just keep going. Keep going. Being an investor does not mean you always win. Being an investor does not mean you always make money. Being an investor means that you are going to incur risks that regular people don't incur. But one of the things about being an investor that's beneficial to you is that with that extra risk comes extra rewards. when things go well, things are going to go really well for you. And a lot of people aren't going to understand that. They're going to say, well, you got lucky. How come you got more money than me? You don't work harder than me. Well, that's because you figured out how to make money without working. That's because you took chances they would not take. So just stay with it. Choose that life, and if that's the life you want, I think the benefits outweigh the consequences. I've been to a few podcasts that are taking shots at you. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's okay. I take strong positions, so I expect them to take shots. I want them to continue to do that. What are your thoughts on Africa and China's relations? I think China is trying to profit from Africa. There's a lot of wealth in Africa, and the Chinese understand that. Is collectivism better than individualism? Most powerful people or groups around the world engage in some form of collectivism. They have teams. They operate on code. That's what Powernomics is all about. Y'all should hit the question button and write your questions here. Okay, absolutely. Bottom right. Okay, I don't know what bottom right. Oh, I see. Thank you. Dr. Boyce, I hope you're doing well and good health. Well, thank you very much, Big Dog Talk Podcast. I appreciate you, brother. I checked out your podcast. I think I'm a subscriber. Are you going to squash your beef with Corey Holcomb? I don't think there is a beef. I mean, we're just in two different categories. He's a comedian. I'm a scholar. I got plenty of black men that tell jokes. I'm not here to be, I don't want to be a joke. I want to be a winner. Let me see here. Is Robinhood a legitimate site to buy stocks? Yes, Robinhood works just fine. Hold on, I'm trying to. Damn, I keep hitting that wrong button. There we go. What else? I retired at 28, investing in stocks. Good for you, vagabond. Wow, retired at 28. What do you do with all that free time? That's pretty cool, man. Good for you. Let's keep going. They are giving both you and Dr. Umar hell. That's good. That's good. That means that they heard us. That means they're listening. That means that they've been put in a position where they're forced to defend their ideas. And let me tell you something that I learned in academia. Being criticized can sometimes be the best thing that ever happens to you, because criticism and counter arguments are how you facilitate healthy debate and the full expression of a wide range of ideas. You understand? So sometimes it's very important to disagree with an idea just to make sure that the people who lay out the original perspective are challenged enough that we learn that that we're not all uniform in our line of thinking. Because think about it. Imagine if there were a bunch of brothers who say single mothers ain't shit, and it ain't our fault. It's their fault, and blah blah blah. Right? And then I don't say anything. Well, then people are going to think all black men think that way. All black men don't think that way. We're just dissenting. We're just simply saying, I don't know if how in alignment I am with everything Umar says on this, but Umar and I, we're a little bit older than some of these guys too. We both kind of say, no, 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 black man, this is your community. If this is your community, you have to take some accountability. You can't sit here and act like white people own you and control you. This ain't slavery. Unless you are that much of a bitch that you are going to allow another man to take full control over your life. No, you got to take responsibility for something. If you want women to take responsibility, then what's your responsibility? It's recursive. Just like the women can't just keep blaming the men. We all played a part in this. It takes two people to make a baby, by the way, in case people don't know that. Let me keep going. Boyce, your views have changed over the years on investment, business, and dating. Do you think that you have your own bias? Absolutely. Absolutely. My biases are big time. I definitely am biased. I cannot be unbiased. I try my best to be, but it doesn't work. So yes, you are getting a biased opinion. So take it with a big grain of salt. Let me see here. Do you think we'll ever get reparations this election, or will it come with a catch? Oh, it's always gonna come with a catch. They're gonna test you to see how dumb we are, and hopefully we won't fail the test. Is running an online store profitable long term? Yes, it is. I have one. What do my kids see? People talk about like raising other people's kids and how that's a waste of time. Well, two of the kids I raised actually helped me run my store, and they ship all my products. So rather than me having to pay somebody else to do it, they do it for me. And my online store generates about $250,000 a year, and I'm able to do that because I have people that are loyal to me, that work for me, and I pay them a rate that's not as high as I would have to pay a stranger, and I keep the money in the family. So that's just one real life example where you don't want to make things oversimplified. How about that? What do you think about Department of Defense stocks? You talking about like Raytheon and Boeing and all that? Well, they're fine. Palantir, I think Palantir is a good company to invest in. I'm going to get some more shares of Palantir. Thank you for all your great work. Thank you, Diamond, for Tuck. I appreciate you saying that. Let's see. Will you vote for Cornell West in this election? Yes, that's my buddy. I love Cornell. He's been my homeboy for many years. I knew his mother when she was alive. I just love that guy. And I don't care. He's a Marxist and all that, but I just think he's a good human being. I like good people. I respect him, and I think Cornell's a good guy. Let's see. Tips on spicing up your love life with your other. If you want to answer that, sir, spicing up your love life. I think that if you want to spice up your love life with a woman, go study women. I read a book years ago called What Women Want Men to Know because I wanted to understand women. And I found that after I read the book and understood what women wanted, I became a better man. It's just like selling a product. If you want to sell a product, you got to talk to the customer. You got to listen to the customer. The customer will tell you what they want. And then all you got to do is there's no guessing anymore. You just give what the customer asked for. So learning women and understanding how they operate um, is a great way to have a better love life or achieve whatever goal you want. But maybe I just see it this way because I'm a certain age, but human beings are predictable. All of us are. That's why they can invent things like Chat GPT that can simulate human, um, thoughts and emotions and skills and perspectives because we're hackable. So I would take time to really learn how women operate, what they value, what matters. Like one simple stupid thing is like if you just learn how to make money, like women are gonna love you. That's it. If you have money, like so many women will be like, "Oh, I think you're so wonderful," and I think that's dangerous. You shouldn't think that way, but people do. So rather than chasing women, just chase money. And then after you lift your head up from your desk, after you've been working and grinding and making money, there'll be like 3 or 4 women standing there just smiling, ready to do whatever you want. But it's deeper than that, of course. But seriously, it's not that hard. So just study the thing that you want to be good at. Can I sit in on the prime tomorrow before purchasing? That's not a bad idea. Let me see if I can set that up. Make sure you get on the email list or text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. If you want to join us for class tomorrow, just text Boyce to 31996 and I'll text out that link and you can join us tomorrow in class. So thanks. Good question, Lion Mode. Let me see here. And we are meeting for class here tomorrow night at 8:30. Keep the sex dirty and the fights clean. That too. But well, I think there's no one size fits all approach when it comes to women either. Right? Every woman is different in terms of what they want and what matters to them. And so I think understanding that woman, like caring enough to listen, and that's another thing too. This is a big one. It's very simple, very easy. I've noticed women love to talk and they love to be listened to. They love to be heard. And as men, because we have different brain structures, like we have more gray matter in our brain, a lot of times we're thinking very logical. We want to solve the problem. I was talking, me and my wife met Killer Mike in Atlanta with his wife, and that's what me and Mike were saying. We were like, if we hear a problem, we want to solve it. And the women were saying something that a lot of women say is that because they're connected to feelings and emotions, sometimes they just want to get it out. They just want you to hear them. So sometimes if a woman brings stuff to you and you see it as a bunch of bullshit and you're like, oh Lord, here it goes, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times she's just getting it out. And so all you got to do is just listen, pay attention, give her your undivided attention, right? Like don't be in your phone, don't be doing other stuff. Give her undivided attention, look her in the eye, empathize, like active, like, okay, so what you're saying is, and repeat it back, like if you repeat it back, then she'll know that you heard it and keep doing that. And then she'll just feel better because studies show that women feel better just from talking because it releases oxytocin. Women literally just by talking to a person, they feel more connected to that person. That's why women will get together and they'll all talk as friends and they'll have wine and just be talking to each other and then they walk away like best friends. So that's one tip. I don't know if that helps you. I hope that helps. I mean, I'm not out here trying to pretend to be no ladies man, but I can say that I did marry the woman of my dreams. If you'd have asked me years ago who's the prettiest lady that you know, I would have said Alicia. I would have literally said Alicia, but she's married to somebody else. So I can say that, but I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like I was a ladies man. I wasn't. But again, I have my experiences because of my age, and also when you become like rich and famous, like women just are everywhere, and there's too many of them. It's too much distraction. And I'm sure some of them were FBI agents and stuff. I ain't trying to get caught up in no nonsense like that. All right. So somebody says sometimes they talk too damn much. Well, you said it. I didn't. It does feel that way sometimes. It's like, oh God, do we have to talk the entire time? Can we stop? Because I like silence. I'm an introvert. I like silence for long periods of time. And my wife is a social butterfly, so there's like a lot of. It requires a lot of patience, and you just got to decide, do I want to be married to this woman or not, and because I made that choice, sometimes it requires me to be patient, but it ain't nothing's easy. No relationship is ever easy. So that's my 2 cents. You don't have to be a ladies' man. You just have to be that ladies' man. That's true, Darren. That's true. And I don't want to be a ladies' man. I don't. I'm telling you, some of these situations will bring you absolute headaches. Because the other thing too is that sometimes guys who like to date lots of women, you're running into women where the vast majority of those women did not have their father in their lives when they grew up. So a lot of them have daddy issues. It's just undiagnosed because we don't talk about it, because we don't think fathers matter. But I believe that they do. I think fathers not being present. It's like, imagine dating a guy who never had his mother. He's not going to be like every other man. He's going to have some issues. He's either going to hate women or he's going to be like a complete like pushover with women. One or the other. Either he's looking for women to replace his mother, or he just thinks women are all bitches and hoes and they're evil and worthless and whatever, right? Sex objects. So a lot of times you get to playing with these women and their hearts. Some of them need to heal and haven't healed yet. So you decide you want to walk away. You're like, oh, well, I'm going to hit it and quit it because I'm a player. And she sees that you've got something to lose. Like Zion, I think Zion Williamson is a great example of that. That lady, you can't tell me, I bet you every nickel in my bank account that if I was to look into this lady's background, Mariah Mills, the one that's trying to destroy his life right now, I bet if I look into her background, she's probably got all kinds of trauma everywhere. I bet her daddy wasn't there. Cause think about it. I mean, she was doing some crazy porn. Like this lady was out there, probably stuff with her mama. I think, mama went to jail or something crazy like that. So she's got all this trauma where she's like, oh, no, you don't. You ain't going nowhere, Negro. Right. So she's coming at him trying to destroy him because she has not healed from her trauma. So when you get to playing around with different women, it's a dangerous game because some of these women, unfortunately, are just ticking time bombs. So, so what happens is they'll end up loving the shit out of you when they love you. But there's a thin line between love and hate. Typically, the people that hate you the most, in many cases, are people who loved you the most. Because love and hate are similar energies. It's a connection. So just be really careful with that. There's a lot of unhealthy people out here, and they don't get the therapy they need, and it could just end badly, especially if you have something that you are trying to protect, like you worked hard to get that job, or you worked hard to build that business, or you worked hard to build your reputation, or you worked hard to build your church, and all you did was saw a pretty girl and did what a lot of men would do, right? You laid down with a pretty girl. There's nothing criminal about that. But somebody can make it almost to the point where they destroy everything you have. They destroy your reputation, take all your money, ruin you, say horrible things about you. In worst case scenario, tell lies about you. It's terrible. And because once somebody accuses you of something, it's hard to wipe off the accusation. So just be thoughtful about that. It's my 2 cents. All right, let me see here. Boyce, how much can you bench press? I don't know. I haven't tried to bench press for years. Probably not a ton. I do lift weights, and I have a naturally muscular build, but I ain't nobody's muscle man. I'm just trying to keep some muscle mass so I don't end up getting like old and fat and flabby. What do you think about a guy with 4 wives, but they are poly? Well, if you can work it out, I'm not judging. I understand. Me and my wife are a little different on that. Like I don't have a problem with people's choices in those relationships. I think she'd be the kind of person who would say it can never work. I don't think that's true. I've seen, scenarios where a guy was appealing enough where 4 women, were interested in him and they were okay with whatever he had going on. And in fact, there's a lot of polygamous situations happening in the Black community. There's a lot of situationships. And the example I would give is like, I know a lot of men who maybe have some money and maybe some good looks to go with it, who have, who are literally sleeping with 6, 7 women at the same time. And it's like almost like don't ask, don't tell. So because the women are so, kind of interested in like the whole idea of like, I don't need nothing, I don't need no man, whatever. They're doing the independent woman thing. So they're just sleeping with him whenever he comes by, and he's not talking about his other relationships. So everybody's just kind of like whatever, and I don't know. I'm not judging it. I'll just say I just think about things like like you don't know what you're letting into your bedroom. Like you have STDs and all that. That stuff is very real. Black women actually catch HIV more than anybody else, and I think a lot of it is because you have a few men that sleep with lots and lots and lots of women, like almost like an insanely high number. Remember Wilt Chamberlain? Wilt Chamberlain talked about how he slept with 25,000 women. Now let's say it was only 5,000 or 3,000. That's a massively high number. You can't tell me that man did not catch diseases with all those women. And here's the other thing too. There's a lot of trauma that gets passed, because I happen to know one of his grandkids, and she said, yeah, my mother was never claimed by him because the family didn't want us to be an embarrassment. So you're hurting somebody's feelings when you do that. So I just kind of think that we have to kind of really challenge that whole slave plantation breeding farm mindset. At the same time, it's like, I don't like the idea of feminizing men entirely either. I think that that's the issue I have too, is where they expect men to behave like women, and we're not women. I don't want to be a woman, never wanted to be, and so I think that men ourselves have to regulate each other and say, okay, I get what you want to do, but this is not strategically beneficial for you as a human being. This is not going to put you in a place you want to be, and you don't want to be a terror destroying people's lives. Like, you want to be an asset to the lives of others, right? So anyway, let's see, Boyce, how do you stay so disciplined? Because I love what I do. If you love what you do, you're not going to feel like it's a hard work anymore. I emailed you for an interview on my YouTube channel. You can email manager@boycewatkins.com. I admit I don't do a lot of interviews. I just did an interview the other day with Tasha K. I don't know when that's coming out. But that's like I just don't have a lot of time, and I hate saying it, but I just don't. I pour into our platforms and stuff that we're doing. Let's see here. I've experienced being that kind of guy, interested in working on myself foremost, though. Yeah, you have to. You have to work on yourself. And then if you work on yourself, then you can show up better for other people. If you work on yourself, I love my therapist because my therapist makes me a better man, which allows me to show up better for other people. And that's really the goal. Because the thing is, the question you want to ask yourself as a man, here's the number one question. This is what I told our son, like what you should ask yourself about whether or not you're succeeding as a man. The question is this: if you're at your own funeral, or if people are at your funeral years from now, are the people in the audience going to say my life was made better because of this man, or are they going to say my life was a nightmare because of this dude? Like, this dude, he beat everybody's ass, he stole money, he was irresponsible, he was a bum, he didn't even leave us an insurance policy, he wasn't shit, he was mean, he was terrible to other people? Or are they going to say, man, this guy, he elevated me? It was like having Michael Jordan on the basketball team. He was scoring points for the squad, he was helping everybody out, he was protecting, he was defending, he was providing, he was showing love. Like that's what I want people to say. I want people at my funeral to be like, my life is better because of that guy. My life, our team is better off because Boyce was in my life on some level. Like, that's my number one goal as a man, and I think that's a good standard. Because I think you have that power. Because remember, masculinity has a lot of power. Being a man, you got a lot. Like, when a man wants something, when a man is determined, it's hard to stop that. So, ladies, stop trying to change your men. Stop trying to neuter them. If the man has a strong spirit, like, support that. It just has to be guided like a missile. But seriously, you can't. That's energy, man. So that energy can be used in a very powerful way, a positive way, or a negative way. Although, also, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Tall Guy Tycoon. I see you in there, brother. I love what you're doing, man. He's super smart, financial stuff. You're very consistent, by the way, and I love the fact that you do that consistent content. Me and you got to go live at some point, man, because I just have such admiration for what you do. Do you think the beauty industry is lucrative? Yes, I do. It's very lucrative, and Black people don't get the money. What do you think about Brother Polight getting arrested? I don't know anything about the crime or the charges. I did see that. I've only met Brother Polight one time, and I was in Ohio in 2017, and I came and I was sitting, and Brother Polite was giving a speech, and I was really honored. He stopped his speech to acknowledge. He said, "Dr. Watkins, I see you, and I want you to know I appreciate and I love what you're doing." So he was very nice to me, right? And I really was honored by that. In terms of accusations like that, I don't think you can write things off just because you're a fan of somebody. But at the same time, you can't assume it's true just because it's an accusation. But you know, it makes me sad. It makes me sad, and I'm just not interested in like going on like the witch hunt with something like that because because it gets real extreme, right? Right. Either people are saying, oh, you're a hater and you're attacking a black man, but no, if he hurt a little girl, that needs to be discussed. Or they go the other extreme and they say, look, I told you that he was a fraud, and these people out here, they're just frauds, and they're. It's like I don't know. You don't really know. So I say let the facts kind of lay themselves out, and that's what it is, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know him well enough to even feel like I'm connected to that on any level. Like I said, I met him in 2017 one time. We didn't even have a conversation. He just said something to me from the stage. So that was my interaction with Polite. Boyce, you're a good guy, but please stop telling men to make money to get women. You're setting them up for failure. No, I think men should have money. I think if men don't have money, then you're not going to be seen in the same light as a man who has money. It's just a reality because women. I wrote a book called Financial Lovemaking years ago, and one of the most fundamental things I found was that financial security is really important for women. They don't need you to be rich all the time. They just need you to make sure that you're managing the money. If you mismanage the money, then most women will be so rattled by the insecurity that they will damn near treat you as worse than they would have treated you if you had cheated on them. There's something about financial security that really rattles the spirit of a lot of women. So I'm not really here to say that men have to be rich to be a man. I do think being rich makes it easier to attract women. Just like having a big booty or long hair or something works for women, right? Having money is like the ultimate big booty, but but there are plenty of women who don't have big booties who attract plenty of men too, right? So a man does not have to be wealthy in order to get female attention. But I do think that being responsible and just being solid is respected amongst women. I think women can smell weakness, they can smell incompetence, like you don't know what you're doing, or you're just shaky or not reliable. Like you don't want to do that. So just be solid in whatever it is you are. And I think that'll go a long way for you. Let's see. Any advice for a 25-year-old black man starting from zero with the goal of becoming a craftsman? Well, figure out what craft you want to do. Find a school that will train you on that craft. Uh, Attend that school. And if you can't attend right away, then get on YouTube University, look it up. There are probably a ton of videos out there that you can watch on the topic. You got Chat GPT that can tell you everything you need to know. You have Udemy. You have lots of online classes you could take that will teach you how to pretty much acquire almost any skill that you want. Jonathan Majors' trial is coming up. Yeah, Jonathan Majors is in trouble. Like, hanging out with Becky, but we'll see how this plays out for him. He's gonna lose a lot from this. Let me see here. A couple more comments, and then I'm gonna bounce on out of here, guys. My website, by the way, is boycewatkins.com. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. What's the accusation? You talking about Brother Polite? It had something to do with a young girl. That's all I know. 14-year-old or something. So I mean, I don't have anything to say about that. I've never been in the room when Brother Polite was having sex, so I have no ability to comment on that at all. Let's see. Is there any way that an HBCU can receive the money that they are owed, or is it just a lost cause? I think HBCUs are great institutions that do wonderful things, but I feel like the business model is not one that is sustainable. I think depending on government money, mostly from white people, means you have to kiss white people's asses in order to operate. And I don't think that's healthy for black people to be in a position where you are subservient to white America in order to get the resources that you need. I think that as black people, we have to be economically independent and develop business models that allow us to obtain the resources that we need, but to do it in a way that is far more secure. We violate our black national security on a regular basis by taking money and influence from people that don't have our best interests at heart. That's where sellouts come in. That's where your community sells out. So I think HBCUs, unfortunately, they have these massive, massive budgets, and they can't afford them because they don't have a sustainable, independent economic source that will allow them to operate. So that's why with the Black Business School, we run it on a budget that is much, much smaller than we would with an HBCU. Let's see here. Okay, a couple more questions. Let's see, Dr. Bush, can I get an interview on your YouTube channel about my experiences filing civil rights lawsuits per se? Send the information over. Just email it to manager@boycewatkins.com, and she'll take a look. Try to make it like quick bullet point because she's kind of busy with the emails that come in, but she'll take a look at it, and we'll definitely see what we can do with that. Let's see. Say if I have $100, can I still do stock options? It's harder. You can buy stock options with $100, but it might help to have a little bit more money. You have to buy 100 options on 100 shares. So if the options are like $1 a piece, then you could buy a contract. If you're selling options, it's very hard to sell options, just $100. All right, guys. So my website is boycewatkins.com. The $5 a day plan is on boycewatkins.com if you want to get started investing. Also on boycewatkins.com is my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, as well as a training that I have that's for free called How to Make Money Without Working. So feel free to go take a look at that. God bless you guys. It was fun talking to you, and I hope this conversation was beneficial. So I'll see you soon, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.